Hi, this is Richa from Coach Viva, and today we're going to talk about 4 strategies where you can drink alcohol and not ruin your diet. I brought along Lucy, my co-founder, who struggled with this through most of her weight loss journey because she wanted to fit with her friends and yet she wanted to lose weight. So how did she do it? Tell us the first way.
Right. Okay. So the first step is to simply be really mindful about the decisions that you're making. Mindful drinking starts from mindful decision making. So when I was in college, and even a few years out of college, I had no idea what to order. I had no idea what drinks I like. I didn't like. I generally didn't like most of what I was drinking, but I would go out with friends, and somebody would come to the table, and they would start taking orders, and I would just panic because I was looking at the menu, confused, and I had no idea what it was I wanted. So when everybody else started placing their orders, when it got back to me, I just parroted what everybody else was saying, even if I didn't like the drink, even if it didn't fit within my budget for either my financial budget nor my calorie budget. So it turned out to be a very frustrating experience, and I would wake up the next day feeling, not very happy with myself for what happened. And part of it was just that it wasn't a deliberate decision. It was a very reactive decision. From a psychology evolutionary perspective, when we're caught in this fight or flight mode, we have a tendency to just be hyper reactive and stick to what we're most comfortable with. And in my case, it was just saying what other people were saying. Only when I took a step back and really decided to do my research on what drinks I actually like, what drinks are low calorie for the volume that it is, then I was able to really compile a list of items that I can order whenever I'm at a bar. For example, vodka sodas are pretty low calorie, and you can still sip on it throughout the night and enjoy it. Rum and Diet Coke, or a nice glass of champagne or white wine, all of those are fairly low calorie. So having that information in your head, you can make better decisions and not have to be caught in the moment with that deer in headlight kind of moment.
Okay, so let's say I have a favorite list of drinks and they're not on your low calorie drink list. What do I do then?
Yes, so you can totally order your favorite drinks even if it's very high calorie and still stick to your budget. The purpose is to just drink it in moderation and drink really slowly and savor every single sip. This is what's known as mindful drinking, which, like mindful eating, involves savoring and being 100% focused on what it is that you are enjoying right now. And you'll find that when you focus on something with 100% of your attention and enjoy it very slowly, that you can get a lot of pleasure out of a very small amount of the substance. As a matter of fact, we recently had a client who did just that. She found that when she drank just one glass of wine, instead of her usual 3 or 4, don't remember off the top of my head, she found that she actually enjoyed that one glass of wine a lot more than when she had 3 or 4 glasses at once. She was able to notice the notes and the taste and how it changed with each passing sip. It tasted differently with each passing sip was one of the things that she noticed, and that was awesome. And now she is still able to enjoy her favorite wines, but not have it feel like they're controlling her, more like she is able to really appreciate them a lot.
All right. I can see that working. But sometimes I'm out with a particular group of friends who really, really enjoy drinking, and they think I'm not having fun if I'm not drinking with them. So what do I do?
Yeah, social pressure can be really difficult to get through. When I was in college, that was one of my biggest struggles, was to drink in moderation while still feeling like I fit in and that I was still a fun person at a party and people weren't feeling awkward around me because I didn't want to drink as much. So definitely something that I've been through before. What really helped me was when I realized that people who were offering me drinks or even telling me, hey, why don't you have another one, they actually weren't very interested in whether or not I did order another drink. What they were interested in was making sure that I was having a good time. If I was constantly worried about what I'm drinking, then I don't look like I'm having a good time, right? So what they really valued was whether or not they were being a good host, whether or not they were being a good friend. So when I found that out, it wasn't about the alcohol anymore. A lot of people think that you need to drink alcohol in order to bond with your friends, that you need that in order to have fun, in order for other people to accept you. And if they were really your friends, that is, I assure you, that is not the case. So from my own personal experience, I now go in with a mindset of these people really want the best for me, and they want to know that I enjoy being with them and that I am having fun. So I will have conversations with people now and focus more on the conversations rather than focusing on what they were thinking about, what I was eating or what I was drinking. I would ask them about what are some passion projects they're working on, things that really get a deep conversation flowing. And guess what? When that happens, the subject of what you're drinking and what you're eating, it just doesn't come up anymore. So I do want to give some tough love out there for those of you out there who are saying to yourself, I have to drink or else I'm not really connecting with this person or else they're not really happy with me. I want you to really, really ask yourself, who are you actually drinking for? Are you, is it really because you feel that you are incapable of bonding with somebody else, or that somebody else is able to bond with you if you're not matching them shot for shot? And if so, are those really the type of people that you want to be associated with?
That makes a lot of sense. But let's say I'm someone who likes drinking by myself. So I start drinking a glass of wine, and then it becomes another glass of wine, and then it becomes another glass of something. So what do I do in that case?
Drinking alcohol also gives us a lot of emotional benefits. It can help us feel good, it can help us relax a little bit, or we might simply like the taste of it, right? I want to talk about more of the emotional part because I think that's really the case when people overconsume on alcohol. I would say this time you really have to turn inward and think deeply, first of all. This isn't necessarily an easy exercise to do, but you ask yourself first, when you start to feel that you want to grab your second or third glass, how am I feeling right now? Am I hungry? Am I angry? Am I feeling lonely? Am I feeling tired or stressed? Or am I content? If you answered any of the feelings other than that last one, I challenge you to set aside 15 minutes in the moment. Set aside 15 minutes to go do something about that emotion that you are feeling. You can tell yourself that you can still have the drink that you want, but only after you spend just 15 minutes doing something to tackle the current emotion that you're feeling. So if you are feeling stressed about something, go do something else that is not drinking alcohol to help relax you. It may not necessarily succeed, and 15 minutes may not necessarily even be enough, but the fact that you did that starts to build that habit of doing the activity that actually addresses the root cause for this compulsion to drink more. And once again, this reminds me of a client that we had. When she came to us, she would unwind at the end of the day. She has a incredibly busy schedule. So at the end of the day, she would come back and just chug, like 3 or 4 glasses of drinks. And that was her way to de-stress and relax. And it worked for that period that she was actually drinking. But then immediately afterwards, after she was done, she felt really bad physically. She felt really bad. The next day, she would continue to feel really bad physically. She would get hangovers and it was time for work again. And she would feel really emotionally bad as well. She felt that she wasn't more relaxed, actually. She woke up and she was more stressed out than before. And she also felt bad because she ended up drinking a lot of extra calories as well. And so now she felt like she set herself back on so many different fronts. She didn't feel less stressed out than before. She didn't fix the problem that she thought that it would have helped her with, and she didn't comply with her diet, and physically she just felt worse off as well. And now she realized that to de-stress herself, just consuming alcohol wasn't really going to help her in the long term. It only numbed her in the short term. And now what she does is she takes a bubble bath at the end of the day when she's really stressed out, and she lights some scented candles. Basically, she builds like this whole relaxation chamber for herself in the bathroom. And she does that at the end of a especially stressful work day. And that helps her feel so much better, both in the short term and in the long term. And yes, she still does have her one glass of wine occasionally with her bubble bath, with all the scented candles, and she enjoys it a lot more as well. And she gets the long-term benefits of the relaxation as well.
So there you have it, the 4 strategies to drinking alcohol without ruining your diet. If you're interested in more content that helps you with your goals around weight loss, muscle gain, any kind of fitness thing, we have created a short quiz that you can take to tell us what exactly you need right now so that we can see if we can help you. Go ahead in the description and click on the link. I'm also interested in hearing if we covered your situation, and if we did, go ahead in the comments and leave us what was your situation. And if we didn't cover your situation, also leave us in the comments what is your situation so we know what we're missing. All right, until next time.